see behind the scenes story of how I did it and how I'm doing it, how I'm using Facebook organic content to generate a great amount of income in my business, and how literally we ended up using it to make around $100,000 in 30 days in our business last year. Now we're doing it all the time to generate income and clients. So I'm about to spill the tea. I'm about to give you the truth, the behind the scenes of what it takes. And a little spoiler alert, it does not require cold DMing random strangers and people. None of this, none of that. We don't do random stuff here in my side of the world. Well, some of it's random. Like watching Love is Blind might be a little bit random, but that's another story for another day. So I'm going to share with you how we use Facebook Organic to generate income in our business, to attract high quality leads consistently. And this is easier and simpler than you would think. It's not as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be or anything like that. First thing that I want to say is that my focus is on speaking to and attracting high ticket premium clients. So let's kind of define what that means, because I think that this is an important thing for us to define before I move forward and to tell you how this strategy works for this type of person, right? So when I talk about premium, high ticket, high quality lead, all of that, this isn't necessarily people that are millionaires and they're like, oh, I have $100,000 to spend on something today. I mean, maybe I have not signed a client like that yet. But what I mean is I'm focused on working with people or attracting people, or my ideal client, let me say it like that, is made up of people who are action takers, who are resourceful, who are committed to the end result or the thing that they desire, who are visionaries, who are willing to put in the work, who are willing to put in the time, who are understanding of how business works. They're not expecting that they're going to become a millionaire by Monday by just doing this one little secret strategy. Understand that business is work and you're putting in the work. And at the same time, these are people who are into flow and into energy and all of that. That is what I call a premium high ticket client. And I should probably give it a better name and I'll come up with something, right? But for me, it's about this type of high quality person who values and respects an expert, and who values and respects investing in their business and investing in their lives. And they're doing it because they're committed to their vision and the things that they desire. So with that in mind, you have to understand that the psychology of somebody that operates in this way is very different than somebody who is like a taker, who's here to take from everybody's energy, like a vampire who's here to take from your energy and take from what you're doing, and like kind of wants to get as much information out of you for free. There are these freebie seekers and lurkers who are commenting or not even commenting, but they're just taking. So it's a very different energy. And therefore, the way that you approach marketing to these people is going to be very different than if you approach marketing to anybody else. So that is the first thing, right? You really need to understand, how do I need to show up to be able to attract this type of person, right? And I'm talking about Facebook specifically today, but it could be anything. Like this could be true on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Like it doesn't even matter, right? The first thing is you need to make sure that you've become a match for a premium person in every way in your messaging. And I've talked a lot about that. And this is like my jam, like mi cosa is messaging, right? How do you do premium messaging? How to speak to the high ticket version of of your buyer, all of that. It's also how you're showing up. You're not showing up from a place of like lack and desperation and I need this client and neediness, but you're like chill, like you're sharing your content, doing your thing, and you're chill. You're laid back, you're relaxed, like you're in total abundance, you're in total surrender. Just things are coming your way and everything is easy, right? So that's like the little first back end of this. So what this means then is that what I can tell you will not work and has not worked for me personally, and I have tried it, and I'm going to be honest with you, I have tried it, is cold DMing strangers and being like, hey, nice to meet you. Come to my Facebook group. Hey, nice to meet you. Here's what I do and come book a call with me and let's go. Even sending Loom videos, and I've gotten a ton of these videos in the past, like sending Loom videos where you're going over the person's profile and you're giving them free advice up front or whatever. I personally don't like that. I mean, it's a very smart strategy. I'll give you that. Like at least it's a little bit more personalized, but I don't feel like the premium version of my buyer, like my ideal client, is going to necessarily respond to that because it still feels invasive. I need to get to know you. I'm here to build relationships. And that is one of the main keys that you have to understand about these premium type of buyers. They don't want to be treated as a transaction. I feel like this training in this episode is going in a different direction. I haven't even talked about Facebook and how I'm using it, but I feel like this is important for me to like lay the groundwork before I talk about how I'm doing Facebook organic, because it's really simple at the end of the day. Anyways, they want to build relationships, like honest relationships, and they want to consume content that is speaking to them. So therefore, cold DMing somebody and straight up inviting them into your Facebook group or whatever, I feel personally it doesn't work. It might work for some people, and I know that this is a numbers game and all of that, but I can personally say that I just don't feel aligned to that type of strategy. To me, when I receive it or when I'm on the receiving end of it and I consider myself to be a premium client, I don't necessarily I rarely buy or rarely pay attention. I don't get a lot of these types of DMs, but I do get some. And I just don't really necessarily pay attention. It doesn't lead to a sale, right? So that's that. What do I do instead? My focus is on creating high quality content that is very specifically geared towards who I know my ideal client is, right? So this isn't just some like how-to advice that is very basic that every single coach can be talking about out there and they could like Google it and find it. I'm talking about highly specific content that speaks to my audience's specific desires, right? That is literally what I'm doing. I'm sharing that content on my own Facebook profile, like my regular feed. And I consistently have different call to actions. I sometimes invite people to go book the brand message session with us, where you can find it at brandmessagesession.com, by the way. See how I did that? Brandmessagesession.com. So I'm inviting them to book the 15-minute brand message assessment with my team. That's one way of doing it. Another thing that I'm doing is inviting them to readytoinvestclients.com, which is where I have my training on how to attract ready to invest clients into your business. So I'm often doing that as well. But my main focus is sharing high quality content. Like this is very basic. Obviously, you need to understand what your ideal audience will perceive as high quality content, because not everybody's going to view it the same way. Some people will see high quality content in one way, other people will see it a different way. The question is, what does your ideal client view as high quality content, right? So you need to make sure that the quality of the content that you're creating is seriously high quality. Like if you want to attract somebody who's willing to pay $25,000 or $50,000 or whatever you want to charge, like in your dreams, like, right, whatever that is, you need to make sure that the content speaks to that level of value, right? So obviously for that, you need to have a lot of clarity in your messaging, period, right? You have to understand who your ideal audience is. So my focus is on creating this type of content. Obviously, my Facebook profile is very well optimized for all of this, like my banners, my links, all of that. Go find it, go look at it yourself. You'll see, and you can probably capture some of the little tricks. I test different things like of what I pin to the top of my profile. Right now, I have a short video that explains a little bit about who I am and what I do. Oftentimes, I've had like freebies available, different things. And essentially what I like to do with my content is get people to raise their hand and ask for the DM from me, right? So it's not me randomly DMing strangers. It's I'm creating this content. I'm saying, I have this thing. Do you want it? And people are raising their hand and saying, yes, I want it. And giving me permission to DM them. And then I'm sending them. I'm building the relationship, essentially. Simple way of saying it is I'm building the relationship with these people through that, right? At the same time, I'm doing other things that allow me to grow my audience within Facebook, right? So one of them is uploading Facebook Reels to my profile, making sure that my profile is in the setting that allows me to grow. It's like the follow settings are open so that people can follow me even if they're not my friends. So I have that, and I'm uploading reels and videos there as well. I found that to be really effective in terms of a great strategy to grow my audience on Facebook too. And then I am friend requesting people who I feel are are good fits. But usually what I do, to be honest with you, is that I look at the people that Facebook suggests for me, right? Before, in the beginning, I was looking in different Facebook groups where I felt like my ideal audience was hanging out at, and that's what I was doing, friend requesting them. Today, I don't do that. It's more that I get friend requests every single day, so I look through those to see if anybody on surface level, I don't really know, but if there would be a good fit, or somebody who could potentially be an ideal client. And I'm also looking at the suggestions that Facebook gives me, and I'm just friend requesting, adding those friends. Now, I'm not actually messaging these people. I'm not doing anything. I'm just adding friends. Sometimes people will accept me, sometimes they won't. I'm not messaging anybody. I'm not cold DMing absolutely anybody unless they ask me to. But what I am doing is consistently sharing high quality, high value content. And that is the key. Obviously, for that, you need to make sure that you know what high value, high quality content is, right? And you need to understand your message and how you're showing up and all these different things. Now, this is the type of content that really captures the attention of somebody who is an actual ready to buy premium client, right? It's not surface level content. It's not even content where I'm necessarily generating a lot of engagement. If you look at my content on Facebook, depends on the day, right? There's days when I share content that is brilliant and it takes off and I have a bunch of comments and conversations going on. But most of my content does not have a lot of engagement, does not have a lot of likes, does not have a lot of comments in it. None of that. However, behind the scenes, what happens is that these people read my content, they go to my profile, they click on the readytoinvestclients.com link to sign up for my training, or they click on brandmessagesession.com to sign up for the 15-minute call. They get on my email list, they get introduced into my world, and they're doing it quietly behind the scenes. Or they're actually DMing me on private and saying, I read this post. Literally last night, I got a DM from somebody saying, wow, this post is really powerful and speaking to me and all these different things. So that is really the key. And it's that simple. It really comes down to creating content that is actually truly good and speaking to the people that need you right now. That's it, my friends. It is that simple. Let me know in the comments below if this makes sense. And if you want more details about like how I create that content, because I do have a structure for the type of content that I'm sharing. I'm not doing this randomly. I don't do things randomly, again, except watching random things on TV sometimes. But everything's done very intentional. Let me know in the comments below if you want more details on how I'm doing it all. And make sure that you follow me, that you subscribe, that you like, that you comment below. Please, my friends, comment below so that I get some feedback from you and I know what you want me to create. And I will see you all in a different episode.